You're live.
All right. So, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Mark Witten here, and I think Valerie's still on. Valerie, you there?
I am.
Okay. I just wanted to see if you want to say hi to everybody before I got started. That's all.
Hello, everybody. You're in for a treat tonight. Mark's got a lot of good information for you.
All right. I see everybody's chiming in, saying hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. All right. Cool. I would just ask one thing, if you guys don't mind, if you could, while I'm trying to teach the class tonight, if you could hold off on some of your questions until the Q&A, because we are going to do a Q&A. It just pops up on my screen, and I don't want to get distracted. That's all. So if you guys could just, and ladies could just, do me that favor, I'd appreciate it. All right. So, this is week 4 of our 4-week class. It's been a long ride. I'm sure you guys and ladies have learned a lot, and you're going to learn some more tonight. Tonight, I'm going to teach you all how to basically get started, making monthly cash flow by becoming a landlord. This is like my main thing that I'm doing right now. I'm looking for properties that I can buy and fix out and rent out. And actually, this picture right here that I'm showing you is a house that I'm actually thinking about putting an offer in on. I'm trying to really get it for a price that, would really, make more sense for me. It's actually one of my students' deals, honestly, and he's trying to wholesale it. He has a buyer, but this is a long story going on, so I'm thinking about buying it myself, long story short, but I kind of need it for a good price. But I still want my student to make some money too. So it's kind of tight, but I mean, it's still gonna make a good rental. There's a school right around the corner, like right out back of it. Actually, there's a school around the corner, and it's a good area. Perfect for what I'm trying to do, which is basically build a rental portfolio. As you can see from some of the pictures, the house is a full renovation. Probably gonna have to gut the whole thing because you got to get the lead out of there as well. Because I go lead free. And that's one thing that I'll talk a little bit about it more later, but just let you know, anytime you buy a property, you definitely want to make sure that it's lead-free, because there's 2 types of lead tests you can get. You can get a limited lead reduction test, basically, and that's just like when they come by and they swab the windowsill and all that kind of stuff, and like it can have limited lead, so it can have some lead, but not a whole lot of lead, like a certain percentage. But when you go lead free, it's no lead at all, so nobody can like come back and try to sue you later and all that kind of stuff. And that's the last thing that you want as a landlord, is to come up with a lead paint case. You know what I mean? So again, just make sure that you that you go lead free. All right. So again, my presentation for the night: how to make monthly cash flow by becoming a landlord, by me, Mark Witten. So let's go. Let's get started. Wait, before I get started, nobody said anything about hearing me, so I would assume that everybody can hear me well. Is that right? Just say yes if you can hear me well. All right, good. Yes. Okay, great. So everybody hears me. All right, good. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. Because, last time it was a little bit low or something, and I was getting muffled. Somebody said I was a little bit low, so I'll try to get a little bit closer now. All right, so the first thing that you want to do all right, I'm getting started, everybody. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to find the money. So let's just say, you just know you want to become a landlord or whatever, right? And you want to buy some houses. The first thing you want to do is you want to find the money first. Because I'm saying that because, you don't want to miss out on deals. Like, for example, let's say a sweet deal come your way, and then you don't have the money to buy it. You know what I mean? Or not that you don't have you don't have the money to buy it. Somebody else could swoop that deal up, and it could be gone. So you want to make sure that you got the money first. So it's 2 ways to do just that, to find the money, right? Well, 2 ways I'm going to talk about tonight, which is basically private money and hard money. So private money is pretty much the best way, I think, to go about it, because as you will see, I'm going to talk about it later on, some of the benefits of using private money opposed to hard money. So private money is pretty much finding somebody who will lend you money to buy a house, pretty much. I mean, these could be like high net worth individuals or other, I would just say high net worth individuals, people that could be like, anybody that's high net worth, doctors, lawyers, not that because you're a lawyer or a doctor you make a lot of money, but I'm just giving you an example. People that got money, So And the reason why they would lend you the money is so they can make money off of that money, which I'm going to talk about in a second, right? So how do you find people with private money? Well, you can go to realflow.com, right, / Mark Whitten. That's the automated system I gave everybody. And in there they have a platform where you can find private lenders pretty much anywhere around the country. So that's one place you can find private lenders. Another place you can find private money is through, like I said, high net worth individuals, right? And I'm gonna give you a little secret that works really well for finding these high net worth investors, right, individuals. So, like, let me tell you all this, right? You ever seen, like, how can I put it? Like, you get your mail, right? And like a Chinese food store or some pizza carry out, you got a flyer in your mailbox with a whole menu or whatever, right? Getting delivered with the mail, right? You can do that. All you have to do, right, is go to the post office and you can set all that up. Like the post office, the United States Postal Service, which is what that USPS stands for. They have a marketing service where you can send out these flyers to people's houses, right? So what you do is you can craft up a really nice, flyer, right? Saying, you're a real estate investor and this is what you're doing. You're looking for private money. Now, of course, you got to be able to articulate to them why it makes sense for them to even lend you money, which we're going to talk about in a second, right? But let's just say you already knew what all that was. You had all the benefits of why they should lend you money, right? And you put this in like a flyer form, just like the pizza shops do, and what else? The Chinese food places, whatever, right? And then you can take those to the post office and pay for their service, and then all you got to do is now pick a wealthy zip code. You know what I mean? So, for example, let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna use some places in Maryland. Like we have some pretty like Bethesda, Maryland is like a really wealthy zip code, and then you got places in like Northern Virginia. That's like Ashburn, Virginia. I think it's Loudoun County actually in Virginia. I'm saying that because that's all kind of like DMV. It's not far from Baltimore, like where people make a lot of money. So that's like the richest county I think in the country almost. Loudoun County. It's like right outside DC. A lot of the professional government people, all that stuff work there. That's just some examples. If you're in LA, you might want to do, I don't know, I forget, Hidden Hills, I don't know, Hollywood. If you in Baltimore, we got expensive zip codes too. Places like, I think, Cockeysville is one of them. They got $1 million houses out there. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I don't got to keep on running it down. Y'all get the point. And your mailers to these people's houses. So just imagine, right? You send your mailer to somebody that live in $1 million house, right? It's called Every Door Direct Mail. And thank you, Dawn. She works at the post office, I believe, from the last call. So Dawn just said it's called Every Door Mail Marketing, I believe. So write that down, everybody. Dawn, who's one of our students, she works at the post office, so she just put that out there, exactly what that service is called, so you know. And you can send these people these pamphlets. So imagine you send this nice professional pamphlet to somebody's house, and they living in a $3 million house, and they trying to make their money work for them. So it's just like any kind of marketing. The more people who see your message, some people are going to call you back, and they're going to hear what you got to say. So that's a good way to find this private money, so you can start buying these houses. It's going to make more sense to you in a minute as I move through the presentation. All right, so I hope everybody got that. Now, REI meetings, right? Those are the Real Estate Investor Association meetings. You can find out your local one at nationalreia.com. You can oftentimes find, people who could be private lenders there, just looking to learn about real estate and things like that, looking to invest money and so forth, right? And then once you find these people, right, your main goal is to get a proof of funds letter. And that proof of funds letter is pretty much going to allow you now to go shopping, basically, for real estate. So, for example, right, let's say, you find a house with a real estate agent. The first thing the real estate agent, well, not the first thing, but one of the things they're going to want is a proof of funds letter. You got to be able to show them that you can be able to, buy this house. And the proof of funds letter be along the lines of saying something like, hey, I am, this person XYZ, like Mark Whitten is qualified up to, $200,000 to buy investment properties in Baltimore. Right now, it's going to be based off of my own criteria, right? So, like, for example, that's kind of on the hard money part, because usually hard money lenders want to, like, see your credit score and all that kind of stuff. Most private lenders is more so worried about the equity in the house. You know what I mean? Because it's secured. The loan is going to be secured by the property. You know, I'm not saying all private lenders, but most of them, from what I've encountered, if that makes any sense. So just keep in mind before, I don't want to jump all around, but the whole point of the proof of funds letters. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a hard money lender. I'm a private lender, right? And I'm gonna say Dawn because her name just popped up on the screen. So Dawn wants to borrow money from me, right? Now, I'll basically give her a letter saying, look, you know, she's based off of hers, how I evaluated her, whatever that is, whether I checked her credit, whether she, you know, I feel like the deal is good, whatever I feel like on our end, I feel like, you know, I would lend her the money, but it's going to be contingent upon me. I mean, it's going to be contingent upon an appraisal. So basically, I got to make it like I'll give her the money, but only if she gets it at a deal where as though like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just going to give you the money and you're going to go buy your dream house with it. No, it's only going to be if it's approved through the numbers, through an appraisal. All right. So that's pretty much the private money piece. Now, hold on, I'm going to the next page. Back right now, it should come up in a second. And let me say this while the screen coming up, right? The private money is so, and I don't tell y'all nothing I don't do. The private money is so important that you find these people and do these things I was telling you to find the private money is because that's how you can get out here and start building generational wealth with this cash flow without using any of your own money. And I put an example of a deal structure later on in the presentation. You know what I mean? This is stuff that I've done before, like that I do. You know, with my private lenders, I get 100% finance and I don't spend any of my money. They get their money back when I exit the loan or refinance, basically, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So, you know, finding, you know, let me tell you something. If you could just take the time and educate yourself on how to be a landlord, how to find houses, how to fix the houses, how to rent the houses, you know, if you can, that don't take nothing but some education. Like, you got to just educate yourself on that, because once you do that and you really master the skill of finding private money, I mean, you can get wealthy without using any of your own money. But anyway, so you're using other people's money, OPM, other people's money, right? Those rich people that live in the mansions that's going to get your pamphlet saying that you're looking for money, and you explaining to them why they should lend you money, which I'm going to explain to y'all in a minute. Now, finding money. Now, we're talking about hard money, right? What's hard money? Hard money is pretty much, most of the time, other real estate investors who made it to a certain level who now lend their money to other real estate investors to buy property and things of that nature. But it don't always have to be real estate investors who do it. Sometimes you'll find people who are just pretty much smart enough on the actual, or I would say educated enough on the business to where they can go source funds from other people and lend their money out, and then they just get a percentage off of it. You know, a lot of hard money lenders are just that. A lot of the times it's not their money, it's other people's money that they're using to lend you money, and they're getting a percentage off of it, all right, for basically brokering the deals. Now, you can find these hard money lenders by Googling them in your area. So if you're in Baltimore, you can just Google hard money lenders Baltimore. If you're in New York, you can Google, you know, hard money lenders New York. If you're in LA, you can Google hard money lenders LA. Atlanta, you know, hard money lenders Atlanta. You can also find these hard money lenders at your REIA meetings, all right, your Real Estate Investor Association meetings, and there's the website that you have right there. Another good way to find hard money lenders, right, is calling landlords in your area. Now, the reason why I didn't say this for private lenders, so a lot of times if you come across a private lender, you know, you don't want to give that private lender up. I had to be honest with you, right? I wouldn't give my private lender to nobody. I mean, I would give my private lender to Valerie if she asked me, you know what I mean? But, you know, because that's family. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, just anybody, I just couldn't do it because, and the reason why is it's not personal, it's business, because, you know, what if that private money runs out? You know, what if I give somebody my private lender and then they go lend them some money, and now when I need the money, I can't get it because somebody else got it. So, I mean, you know, it's just a part of business or whatever. But anyway, calling other landlords in your area to find hard money lenders is good, because think about it, right? Let's say you go on, like, I don't know, Trulia or Zillow or GoSection8.com, and you find these landlords advertising their houses, and you just call them up with a nice little script, and you're really nice about it, and you're like, hey, you know, my name is Mark Whitten, you know, I'm a real estate investor here in Baltimore, and, you know, I'm out here. I wouldn't say it like this, I'm just giving you an example, but, you know, I'm out here buying properties, and I'm trying to, you know, rent them out, and I'm really looking for some hard money. Do you have anybody you could recommend? a lot of times most people are nice. You know what I mean? And it's just this is different from private money. It's hard money. People got businesses based off this. Oftentimes their money don't run out. And I'm not going to say that, but most of the time you'll see, it's not going to just, run out. Most people will probably, refer you to a good hard money lender. I mean, I would. If somebody say, hey, Mark, you get hard money lenders in Baltimore? Yeah, sure. You holler at my guy Jack, or, holler at this person, Mike, he still does it, stuff like that. So I don't really mind. Most people probably wouldn't mind, but you'd be surprised how many people would share that information with you, right? Just by calling other landlords and seeing if they could refer you to any hard money lenders that they may use or have used in the past, all right? And again, you want to get a proof of funds letter from this hard money lender because for the same exact reasons why you would want to get a proof of funds letter from, a private lender because you're going to need that to show that, especially if you're putting in offers with real estate agents, which, is one of my favorite things to do when I'm trying to get these rentals, you know what I mean? Just putting in a lot of offers with real estate agents. But that's not the only way to get them, and we're going to talk about that in a second, all right? All right. Now, why would they lend me the money? This is very important to know. You got to understand why these people would even lend you the money in the first place. And it kind of goes back to the pamphlet I was telling you about for your marketing through the post office you can send to these high net worth individuals, right? Now, you got to keep this in mind. The deal must be a deal, right? Or in other words, it's got to have equity. So let's just say you send me you want me to be your lender, your private lender, or whatever the case may be, right? I'm not going to lend you the money unless it's a deal, right? Because skip down to the third thing where it says, my third bullet point, where it says the loan is secured by the real estate, all right? Now, I would lend you the money because check this out. Let's say you bring me a deal, and the house is worth $200,000 when it's fixed up. But you got this amazing deal. You got it under contract for $30,000, and it needs $40,000 basically to fix it up. So let's say I'm in it 75 with closing costs, whatever the case may be. So, or you in it 75 with closing costs, whatever the case may be. If if you default on that, basically you don't pay me back, every month like you're supposed to because I'm lending you the money, then I can get that house. So now I've just came up on a great deal. Whether you renovated it already or not, I still get a good deal because even if I get it for 30, even if, you back out right away and, don't pay me, whatever the case may be, I still got your great deal. So that's one thing that would entice me to lend you the money because I'm acting as the bank. You know what I mean? I really can't lose because, I'm either going to make money off my money, which is what I want to do anyway, or I'm going to come up on this really great deal that basically I got from you. So that's one reason why they would want to lend you the money. The other reason why is they're going to make anywhere between 12 and 15% of a monthly return on their money, which is way more than what a bank is going to give you. I think the bank is like maybe 1% a month or something like that, or maybe even a little less. It may even be less, honestly. But yeah, so that's another reason why they would want to lend you the money, and it's backed by the real estate. So I'll just give you a quick example, and I'll get into it a little bit more later. That's like if I'm doing, if I lend you $100,000, I'm getting the 12% a month of $100,000 is $1,000. So if I lend you that money over, say, a 9-month term, then I'm gonna make $9,000 off of you over 9 months, and then you got to give me my whole $100,000 back. Because it's an interest-only loan, right? And then you got to pay the principal back. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, too. All right? All right. So once you got the money and you understand why, these people would lend you the money, first of all, you just got to find a house in a good area. I always say find a house in a good area because you always got to think about the end product, right? And in this case, the end product is your tenant. Right, the person that you're going to rent this house out to. So, first of all, let me say this. If you got a house in a bad neighborhood, you're not going to attract a good tenant. You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, you're going to attract a bad tenant, somebody that don't mind living in a bad neighborhood. Like if you know what I'm saying? Like if you get, long story short, again, I'm going to say it again. You get a house in a bad neighborhood, you're going to attract tenants that don't mind living in bad neighborhoods. And likely 9 times out of 10, I'm not like judging because I'm not saying all people that want to go live in bad neighborhoods are bad people, but I mean, just think about it. Bad people make bad neighborhoods. I mean, if you disagree with me, I don't know how. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing. So you want to find houses in good areas, but not only that, it has a lot to do with the value of the house. It has a lot to do with your exit strategy of the house. When I say exit strategy, I mean being able to get out of the loan by refinancing. And the only way you're going to be able to do that successfully is if the numbers are there from the appraised value of the house once it's fixed up. And again, if that confused you, don't worry about it, because I'm going to cover that in a little bit later on in the presentation, okay? So back to what I was saying. So you got to find a house in a good area, right? How do you find houses in good areas, right? All right. So one way is through wholesalers. Now, wholesalers, you can find wholesalers just like us, anywhere. You can call they bandit signs, the signs you see on the pole. You may ride around the city, and every pole, every sign you see on the pole, you might just write the number down and then call the wholesaler and say, hey, I'm an investor. I'm looking to buy some good rentals. Do you have any good properties? Wholesalers are a really good way of finding deals, because wholesalers are already out here trying to do just that, find deals, right? Real estate agents, that's another way to find deals in good areas, because you can just basically pick what area you want and see what's on the market in those areas, right? Again, I said it earlier, I love, looking for my rental properties on the MLS, or or through real estate agents. Because I can, cherry pick my areas. When I say cherry pick, I mean basically I can just pick what area I want. So I'm going in a good neighborhood off the top. And it ain't got to be a great neighborhood. It ain't got to be, just ritzy, expensive neighborhood, but nice medium income area, you know what I mean? A little mix of renters and homeowners, something like that. In Baltimore, I like, streets that got trees on them, a little grass in the front yard, something like that. Because, if you go down in the city, in the inner city, a lot of times you don't really see that. And I'm not saying that, just because you don't see that, it ain't good. I'm just thinking about the demographics of where I live at, you know what I'm saying? So, for sale by owner, that's another good way of finding, these deals, right? For sale by owner is another way of finding deals. All right, so just keep that in mind. And you can do that you can find those by I put searching for absentee owners. That's a good way. And we talked about that too. I believe I talked about it in my last class about basically how to find absentee owners using Google Maps. And you can pretty much go down the streets block by block, find out who the absentee owners are, cherry picking your area or whatever, and look for sale by owners, absentee owners. Bandit signs is another good way of finding houses in good areas. I mean, you may just basically take your sign and, take some bandit signs that may say we buy houses or cash for houses or looking to buy a good property, with your number on there. You can just put those signs in those good areas that you want to buy in. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people who are looking to sell their houses right in those areas will call you, or if they're absentee owners or they got vacant houses and, they're going to check their mail and stuff like that, it'll give you a call to pick up some deals in that area. I think is a good way. All right, so USPS mailers, I talked about that already, but that's another good way of finding houses in good areas. I mean, instead of making your pamphlet geared towards, high net worth individuals looking for private money, you just turn it into a marketing strategy for your We Buy Houses campaign, and you put a little pamphlet together. It's just no different from the pizza shops and the Chinese stores. It's just geared towards real estate and buying houses, and then you pick the zip codes you want in those good areas, and you blast out your mailers, and you can wait till your phone to ring. All right, so move on. All right, now so you found some houses in some good areas, right? Now let's say you called a real estate agent or whatever, and hold on, called a real estate agent, and hold on one second, guys. Sorry, one second. Sorry about that. All right, so you called the real estate agent. Make sure I'm on. Okay. Can everybody hear me, right? Just say yes if you can hear me. I want to make sure my phone is working and I'm good. All right, everybody can hear me. Okay, cool. So let's say you find this house in this good area and you say you got it from, I don't know, for sale by owner or something like that. Now, the first thing you want to do, of course, is nothing different. You got to go out here and you got to determine, hold on. You got to determine, how much. I said this earlier. If y'all don't mind, can you just can we chill on the comments and just until the Q&A, because it pops up all over my screen and it kind of blocks the presentation. It's kind of distracting. All right, but anyway, but that don't mean no. It's all good for it's all good. All right, so. Where it said, all right, so now you got to go determine how much you will spend to get the house rent ready. That's the first thing you need to do once you got somebody in play and somebody in motion. You got to go find out how much it's going to cost to get the house rent ready. Basically, you got to go in there and see what you got to do to it. So this is a couple of pictures of the house I was telling y'all about right now. So as you can see, you're going to have to gut this kitchen. All this stuff got to go. New cabinets, new countertops, all the appliances old. I mean, I'm getting rid of all this. Got to do new flooring. Probably going to spend like $7,000 in that kitchen just to get it right. And if you look at this bathroom next to it, this bathroom got to go. And you know what? When I first got into business, right, when I first started wholesaling, I would go in houses like this, and the kitchen I knew it had to go. Like I'm talking about first started, first, brand new, probably newer than some of you guys and ladies on the call tonight. I would see bathrooms like this, and I would say, oh, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. You just clean it up a little bit. And then when I got, and then as I really, really got in the game and started learning and, stuff like that, way before I started buying my own, I realized that you got to gut these things. And I'm saying that to say I don't want y'all to go in houses and see stuff that look like this and think, oh, the bathroom is fine. No, it's not. You got to gut this whole thing. New toilet, pull up the new flooring, bust up the tub, take all that out, all new everything in these bathrooms, right? And that'll probably cost somewhere like around $4,500, maybe like $5,000 or something like that, depending on what you're putting in there to basically, get all of that together. All right, so the flooring, as you can see on here, the flooring, you probably can't see it too well, but the flooring's all messed up. You got to do that over. Me, personally, I would probably just do like a laminate flooring, something like that, because when you do carpet and stuff like that, you don't want bugs and bed bugs and stuff like that to burrow down and whatever I'm trying to say, dig all down in the carpet, and then you have all types of issues with that, stains and smells, and then you gotta always replace the carpet every 2 years or 3, or if you get a new tenant, you gotta replace the carpet and all that kind of stuff. So I recommend with just either finishing the floor or doing new hardwoods. Probably cost you around $3,000, maybe $3,500, depending on who you get to do it. To do the house. Now, as you can see, it's like a radiator over in this right-hand corner on the picture of the room. So anytime you see radiators, you know that you're going to have to change all that out and go with a whole nother HVAC system. So that's going to cost you, roughly around like $7,500 for a house this size. That's around like, 1,200 square feet, something like that. And that's for everything. That's for the HVAC work. That's for the duct work. That's for the new furnace. That's for the AC unit, the compressor, everything, the whole system, all right? And then if you look at the back if you look at the back door, you really can't see it too well, but those windows are old and not working really properly, so you got to put new windows in the house. And if you don't really know how much it costs to do that, it's about $300 a window, just about anywhere you go. You're going to spend about $300 a window. That's for the actual materials and the labor. All right, so all you do is you just go in the house, count how many windows it is, and times it by 300, and that's going to be what it's going to cost you to fix, to put the windows in. Now, I do this all the time, so I can go in a house and just eyeball, whatever needs to be done to a house and know what it's going to cost me. I've done it so many times. But for those of you who haven't and you're just getting started, one thing that you're going to need, if you look to the left now, is these are the people that's going to play a role in, fixing this house up. You're going to need a carpenter, right? And the carpenter is pretty much the people who come in and close everything up. Like, they're going to be the ones that's going to, what do you say? How can I put it? Finish up the bathroom, finish the kitchen, put the cabinets in, do all the little woodwork stuff that need to happen. Basically, close it. When I say close everything, maybe I should start not at carpenter. Let's say the first thing you got to do, and I'm gonna talk about this on the renovation part in the next couple of slides. But after the house get demoed. And all that kind of stuff, you're going to basically have the electrician, the plumber go in there and all that stuff, and the HVAC person who is going to, like I just said, run the HVAC stuff. That's the the vents and everything that go through the house, along with the AC unit and all that. Then, of course, the plumber going to do all the plumbing, like all the rough-in plumbing, and the electrician goes in there and runs all the electrical and stuff like that. And then the carpenter pretty much goes in there and then like finishes the bathroom, basically puts the toilets in, lays the floors, all that kind of stuff, right? They do the punch out at the end, but they do a lot more than just the punch out at the end. I'm responding to somebody's comment, but if y'all could just kind of chill on that because it's distracting me, as you can see. I'm trying not to get distracted. So anyway. So back to what I was saying, because I got off topic. But anyway, if you can find these people, right, like a carpenter or a general contractor, rather, you know what I mean, an electrician, a plumber, a HVAC person, and and a roofer, then you can basically line all of those people up to meet you at the house, and then basically give you estimates on everything that need to be done. But these are pretty much all the people that's going to be involved in getting your house back together: a carpenter, electrician, plumber, HVAC person, and the roofer. All right. All right. So now that you pretty much know, what it's going to cost you to fix the house up, you got to work your numbers. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to pull the rental comps, right? You got to ask yourself, all right, well, how much, can I get in rent for this house? How much can I get in rent? And the way you can do that is you can go on rentometer.com, and you go in there, self-explanatory, real easy. You just put the address in, the number of beds and baths and things, and it'll give you rental comps. It'll tell you how much houses are renting for in that area for like mostly market tenants. Then you can go to GoSection8.com and then figure out what the Section 8 houses are renting for in that area. So you may go on GoSection8.com and put in a certain zip code. And when you put that certain zip code in, like, for example, you may put in, like, I want to buy houses in, this zip code, 212, 30 or something like that. That's a Baltimore zip code, but wherever you at, And then you got to say your house got 3 beds, 2 baths. Then you're going to look at other 3 beds, 2 baths in that same zip code on Go Section 8 and see, what the Section 8 rents are going for in that area. You know what I mean? Because you got to know that. Going in, you got to know what you're going to get in rent, because you working your numbers, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to get more into, all the other stuff, expenses and everything, so you can see how it all makes sense. But that's the first thing I do. I want to see, how much can I even get in rent? Then you work your formula. Of course, you could do your 65% of the ARV minus the repairs to kind of come up with your offer that way. But you also want to make an offer to buy where you can exercise your exit strategy, right? So when I say that, I mean you have to. It's 2 ways you're getting out the loan. Okay, when I say exit strategy, that's how you're going to exit the loan. Because remember, we borrowed the money to get into this deal. So the way you're going to do it, if you're going to hold the property, which is be a landlord, which is what we're talking about, you're going to have to basically refinance the property. So I tell people all the time, it's like, some people don't know what a refinance is. Well, if somebody lent you the money to buy the house, then they financed you, right? You got it financed. So if you refinance it, you're just financing it again. You know what I mean? So that's basically getting another loan from somebody else, to pay off the other person, and then you can put money in your pocket if you want to refinance. But basically, long story short, most people are going to, or companies or lenders or whatever like that, I recommend like a Lima One Capital. I know they do refinance, but there's a lot of places that you can go to. You can just Google these places online, to basically be able to refinance, these properties. But a lot of times, anyway, they're going to do it at 75% of the LTV. The LTV stands for loan to value, right? So I'll give you just a quick little example, and I got more as I go along. But let's just say you borrow $40,000 altogether, right? And let's just say the house once you fix the house up and it's all nice, then it appraises for $100,000, meaning it's worth $100,000, but you in at 40. So if you refinance at 75% of the LTV, then that's 75% of $100,000. That means you can get a loan on that property for $75,000. So if you can get a loan for $75,000, right, out the 75, let's say I think what I say we borrowed 40. I think I said we borrowed. I don't know if I said 30 or 40, but let's just say we borrowed 40, right? So 50, 60, 70, that's 25. So that means that you can pay off the 40 and still have $25,000 from the loan that you can put in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said 40. So if I said 40, yeah, so that's 40, 50, 60, 70, 35,000. Yeah. So it'd be 35 grand that you could put in your pocket and pay off the other. Wait a minute, hold on, I'm getting confused. If it was 40, then you got to pay off the 40, right? Yeah, out the 75. So that will leave you with 35,000, right? That you can do whatever you want with. You can use it to buy other houses, you know what I'm saying? Or you could just not take no money out at all, which would increase your cash flow. Because remember, the bigger the loan you got, the more you're going to have to, spend paying it back. I'm going to talk more about that later. I'm kind of jumping all around, but I got y'all covered because I got that in my later slides, right? All right. All right, Antoine said it's tax-free money. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that too. Basically, yeah, when you refinance and you pull money out, you don't have to pay taxes on it because it's a loan. So that's a good strategy. Something very important to know, which is why I feel like a lot of people they go out here and they rehabbing and they most of the time paying taxes on that money unless they doing a 1041 exchange 1031 I believe it's called exchange, which I don't do those. But anyway, because I don't flip, you know what I'm saying? I like buy and fix and flip, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm holding my stuff. And then when I refinance, I don't have to pay no taxes on it because it's a loan. But again, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah, 1031 exchange. Thanks, Antoine. One more time, if y'all don't mind, if you could just hold out on the comments, please. I really appreciate it if you hold out in the comments. Again, I'm telling you, it's popping up on my screen right in front of my PowerPoint, and it's distracting. So if you please just hold off on your comments until the Q&A, and we can talk about it, all right? Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to check the property taxes because all we're talking about right now is analyzing the deal. You want to check the property taxes. If you see I put on there, this is crucial because this is an expense. A lot of people, I ain't going to say a lot of people, but newbies will forget to check the taxes on the house, right? Because, again, this is an expense, right? This is coming out of your monthly cash flow because you got to pay taxes. So what you do is you have to go and, find out what the yearly taxes are and then divide it by 12 so that way you can see what your tax expenses will be. So I just put a little screenshot on here of the website in Baltimore where you can pretty much go and search property taxes. But wherever you at, just go to your county or your city or whatever and just type in, property tax bill or whatever or pay property tax or whatever. Because that's just basically, try to find the tax bill. And you can put the address that'll tell you what the tax bill is. And then, again, just take whatever it is yearly, whatever the yearly taxes are, and then divide it by 12 and then add that as an expense, as a monthly expense. And of what you're going to have to pay by holding this property. You're also going to have to pay insurance, too, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So those are your two expenses, insurance, taxes and insurance, all right? All right, then you make your offer. So, again, right, if you're working with a real estate agent, then they're going to want your proof of funds letter from your lender. We already talked about that. If you're dealing directly with a regular motivated seller, likely you won't, okay? All right. Now, once you make that offer and it's accepted, right? One thing that you got to keep in mind is also very important is that you have to get builder's risk insurance before closing, right? And most lenders are going to require that you do that. And all it does is protect the lender's interest. It's kind of like any insurance. Like, for example, let's say, you come to me and I loaned you the money to buy the house, but there's no insurance on the house while you in there fixing it and something go wrong. Like, I ain't protected if there's no insurance on there while you in there doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important to do. Somebody said the PowerPoint is blank. I'm gonna take a quick little break to answer y'all the question. I mean, not to answer your question, but is it blank for anybody else? Is anybody else's PowerPoint blank? All right, everybody's saying no. Don say refresh your screen. Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm going to move on now. All right. So now let's talk about structuring the money. Here's the benefits of using private money, right? Let's just say, the term is, say, 6 to 9 months, right? So basically you want to borrow the money. I'm going to use me as the money person. So say you want to borrow the money from me, right? The term is usually going to be anywhere around 6 to 9 months that you're going to, basically, I'm going to lend you this money, and that's your time frame to pay me back, all right? Then it's going to be 12% interest only on the principal for the duration of the loan. So if I loan you $100,000, then basically you got to give me 12% a month, for 9 months. Again, that's like $1,000 a month. And then at the end of the loan, I need the whole $100,000 back. That's why you got to refinance to pay me back. All right. And then the principal is to be paid in full at the end of the loan. I just said that. And then you can get 100% financing, which is what I've experienced from using, private money, which is really good, again, because, at the end of the day, these people with this private money, they just want to make a return on their money, But when you're dealing with hard money lenders who, like, really, really in the lending business, they got other stuff that come along with them, like I'll explain to you now. So when you're structuring hard money, right, they're going to have what's called a loan origination fee. And what that is basically like whatever percentage that the lender, the hard money lender, want to charge you just for borrowing the money. Like they may charge you $3,500 just to borrow the money, or $4,000 or $5,000 just to borrow the money, right? Then it could be anywhere between 12 to 15% interest only on the principal for the duration of the loan. So if you see, I added like up to 15% in there because some hard money lenders are going to want to hit you with more percentage than 12. All right, and then they may also require you to put a down payment on the house. They may ask you to put $5,000 down or $10,000 down, and you got to come out your own pocket to pay the closing costs. So you could already be in this now, 15, 16 grand just to get in, just to borrow the 100, or the 60 or whatever you're trying to borrow. Basically they're gonna want you to put some skin in the game, or come to the table with some money, right? And then you may have fees like what's called draw schedule fees. So for example, right, instead of if a private lender gives you 100% finance and they gave you the money for the loan, to buy the house and to fix it up. Now, not that they won't do that, not hard money lender won't do that, but they're gonna charge you. Okay, for example, say the house costs you $30, it's going to cost you $30 to fix it up, right? So they'll give you the $30, and then when you got a draw schedule on the rehab, that basically means that you got to start the rehab with your own money. So you may put up $10,000, and then once the $10,000 worth of work happens, and they come check it, they'll charge you money just to then give you the $10,000 so you can do it again. And then once they come check that, then they'll give you the other $10,000 to do it again. So basically, you're just putting your money on the line until the rehab is done. You know what I'm saying? But every time they come and give you another draw of $10,000 to fix the house up, they charge you for it. All right. Also, too, you're gonna have an appraisal fee. Like they're gonna charge you probably like $350, something like that, $375, maybe $400 to get an appraisal done on the house, because of course, they want to see what it's going to appraise for, if the deal makes sense, and all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so once you do all that and you're ready to start your renovation, you see I put start your nice renovation ASAP, because it's all about speed when you're in the business of, buying and holding. You want to get it, you want to buy it as soon as you can, you want to fix it as soon as you can, you want to rent it as soon as you can, you want to refinance it as soon as you can, and then you want to move on and do another one while you cash flowing off that one, right? So I say do a nice renovation because you really want to go in there and give people the bells and whistles. You want to give them granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, central heating there, and all that, because, it's competitive out there. You know what I mean? People, these tenants, they want the best, especially like on Section 8. Like they want all of that stuff, and people are giving it to them. So it's like, if I'm not giving you, granite countertops and stainless steel appliances, and then somebody down the street is, who you think they're going to go rent from? But not only that, though, it raises your appraisal value, and it makes for a better situation when you go to refinance, because remember, 75% of what it appraises for, you know what I mean? So the more it appraises for, the better situation you are in. So when it comes to renovation, you want to get in there, you want to do your demo, and you're basically knocking everything out, getting rid of everything that you want to get rid of. Then you want to get in there, you want to have your people get in there and frame it, start doing their framing, running their plumbing, running their electrical, HVAC, that could be all going. Get your windows, get your roofing done. You want to go in there and paint and do your floors, you know what I mean? Just get it all done, get your guys in there and get them out. So again, it's important that you have a general contractor or a carpenter, a plumber, electrician. I would recommend start finding them now, even if you're not doing anything. You just, hey, my name is Mark Whitten. I'm a real estate investor. I'm really getting to start buying some properties, and I just wanted to, get your information or whatever. I may use you, for a job. And even though you don't got no houses, you already arsenaled up. You got your arsenal. You locked and loaded. You know what I'm saying? They say if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So by the time you're ready to go buy the house, you already got your electrician, you got your plumber, you got your roofer. You know what I'm saying? You got everything. And I'm telling you, that's a great feeling. Like for me, like right now, like if I go buy a house, I'm armed and ready to go. I got everybody that can get in there and do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably like the biggest thing that's so important, because like you got to remember, these people are human beings, just like you. Like renovating a house, it ain't easy. Like that stuff, that's a lot of hard work, and you gotta depend on another human being to get in there and do that when everything is on the line, your money, your time, everything. So you gotta make sure that you got good people, you know what I'm saying, that's getting in here and fixing up these houses. All right. Now, once you do that, you got to find your tenant. All right. So how do you find your tenant? You can go on GoSection8.com and you can put an ad on there, where people are looking, to rent houses. So you can also put your ad on Zillow, for people on there looking to rent houses. Trulia, the same thing. You can also advertise on Craigslist, your rental property, to get your tenants. You can also use the for rent yard signs. You can find those at Home Depot. And those really stick out really well too. People pick up on those fast. Well, at least I know I do. They just catch my eye. Like for rent signs, for sale by owner, all that stuff just catch my eye. So those are good places where you could, find your tenants for your properties. Then you got to screen your tenant. It's real important that you screen your tenant. You want to, because you don't want them coming in there. You want to try to limit them tearing up your house as much as possible, right? So you want to do a credit check, because you want to know if they're responsible. Most people who have bad credit is just because simply they're just not responsible. But they just really not responsible people. Most of the time, and that's what credit is all based upon. People who are lenders that lend you money or give you extend to you this credit. It's just they want to. It's all about just being responsible, really. Like, what I mean? If you got a 750 or 800 credit score, a lot of the times you can get whatever you want because people feel like you're responsible and you're going to pay them back. They're not lending you the money just because of that, though. Of course, they're making money off of their money, but they also want to be safe too, and that's what it's all about. But I'm sure everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? Now, you also want to do a background check. You want to make sure they get a background check done, you know what I mean? So that way you can make sure they ain't got no felonies and, all that other kind of stuff like that, you know what I mean? Or I'm not saying people are bad people if they got felonies, but I know I probably wouldn't want to rent my house to somebody that murdered somebody or robbed a bank or something crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just never know. To each his own. Another thing that's real important is to go to their current house. Like, I know for me, like, if I get a tenant that come looking at one of my houses, once they there, I ask them, and they interested, and they say they interested, I want to go look at their house right away, because I want to see how they live and to see if they basically going to tear my house up, you know what I mean? And quick little story, I actually did that one time. This girl, she wanted to rent my house, and I asked her, because I'm going to call her a young lady, and she wanted to rent my house. I asked her, could I come to her house to see what it looked like? And she was like, yeah, you can come or whatever the case may be. But long story short, when I got in there, it was bad. It was dog poop on the kitchen floor, puddles of dog pee. People was just in there like it wasn't even there. Like, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't rent to her. She asked me, like, just be honest, can you do it? And I felt kind of bad telling her no, so I told her I'd give her a call and, all that. And, and I ended up telling her I couldn't do it, long story short. And then checking references is another good way, you know what I'm saying, to screen these tenants. Very important, because you don't want these tenants going ahead tearing up your house. All right. Now that you did all that, now you're ready to lease it and get rental dwelling insurance. All right, so that's when the other expense that comes in. You already had the expense when you did your builder's risk insurance, because you pretty much pay that up front. It's not like a monthly thing. You're just like, say you're going to do it for 9 months, they'll just charge you. You got to pay that up front. But anyway, when you go to get your rental dwelling insurance, that's like a monthly expense. You know what I'm saying? Then you could call like a State Farm or a Nationwide. Erie is a good one. I don't know. I think Erie's Nationwide. I don't know, but I know we got it here in Maryland. But anyway, they'll go by and they'll, ride by and everything, write you up a rental policy or whatever. You may end up spending $70 a month, maybe, something like that on insurance, to make sure you covered in case somebody set the house on fire or if anything going on in the house with the tenant messed up. You're covered pretty much. So that's real important that you get insurance, on your house, and it becomes an expense. All right. Then you got to exit the loan, right? So we talked a little bit about this earlier. So what you want to do is you want to refinance the house to a 30-year loan at a lower interest rate. Because remember, you got like a 12% interest rate. If you go with a 30-year loan, you may be paying, I don't know, 4.5%, maybe 5%, something like that. So already you're going to be making more cash flow because you're not going to be spending as much on your mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Your monthly mortgage, right? So you can either pull out the equity on the refinance for your next project and continue the cash flow like we talked about earlier. If you wanted to pull out the $35,000 and put it in your pocket and still cash flow, or you could pull out no equity on the refinance and just increase your cash flow. Because remember, if you take money out, you gotta pay monthly on that money that you took out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't paying no taxes on it, but your loan is going to increase because you borrow basically more money. But if you don't take the 35 out, you know what I'm saying, and you refinance it, back to the example when I said you only was in it 40, owing your private lender 40. If somebody want to give you 75 and you don't take the 75, you just take 40. Now you're in a 30-year loan on $40,000, which is probably next to nothing. And if you're making say $1,600 a month, then you're super big winning. You know what I'm saying? All right. So here's a deal structure example, right? Let's say this house that you bought was 5467 Main Street. And let's just say the purchase price was $20,000, right? And then the closing cost is $4,000. And it's going to cost you $40,000 to renovate the house. So you in it all together $64,000. So if you get a private lender to lend you the $64,000, then you good. So basically how it would look is this, right? Your monthly interest payment at 12% a month is $640. That's 12% interest a month on $64,000, right? $640. And let's just say your taxes. Remember, your taxes is an expense. So let's say your taxes is $100. And your insurance is $70, right? So your monthly rent that you're getting from this tenant is, say it's a Section 8 tenant, you're getting $1,600 a month. So your monthly cash flow, which is your rent minus your expenses, is $790, right? And that's good. I mean, that's good money. I mean, if you think about it, that's pretty much basically $800 a month. I mean, think about what you can do with $800 a month every month. What bills that would take care of? You know what I'm saying? Let's say your mortgage or your rent. Let's say your rent is $1,200, or your mortgage is. Well, I'm gonna say mortgage because we're gonna own stuff, right? Say your mortgage is $1,500, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Now it got chopped down. You know what I'm saying? By what? Now it's like $700 or whatever. So, and then you keep on building. And then say you get another one. Now you basically living for free off your rentals. That's the whole idea of building this generational wealth and then passing it on to our kids. So, you know what I'm saying? Now we leave them something, and they don't got to get out here. Not that they don't got to get out here and bust their ass, because we all need to get out here and bust their ass. We got to teach our kids good work ethic. But we got to leave them something. And it's real. Like, it's so real. That's why I love real estate, because, ain't nobody leave me nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had to get out here and get it from the mud, really. I mean, I wasn't like no poor kid or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, I was given an opportunity just because, I was able to attend a pretty decent school. You know what I'm saying? I was able to build good relationships and all that. And I guess, foster a good work ethic. But, I mean, ain't nobody give me no real estate. Ain't nobody give me no assets, nothing. Like, my first job was at Boston Market. I was broke. Like, everything I got on my own. Like, my first car, I bought it on my own. So I spent like $1,500. The point I'm trying to make is that being that nobody gave me nothing, and I see what it is I'm building for my own son, and I'll be able to give him something, is a really good feeling to do that, and then be able to teach him how to keep it going and give his son something. You know what I'm saying? By the time he give his son something, we'll have who knows, $100 million in real estate. I mean, who knows? With the sky's the limit, And I just think this is very important, and that's why it's good everybody on this call tonight, and that you've been taking these classes and learning how to wholesale and build your capital up so you can get to this point, because this is where it's at. But this is how I got here, wholesaling, right? So anyway, all right, so the appraised value is $130,000, meaning that once I fix this house up, that's what it appraised for. So when I go to refinance it, right, 75% of the LTV, or the loan to value, basically is $97,500, right? So if I do a cash out refinance, basically meaning I'm cash it out, I can pull out $33,500, you know what I'm saying, and don't have to pay no taxes on it. That's the difference between my loan amount and the 75% of the appraised value. So, I mean, just think about that. You know what I'm saying? You can just do all this without using none of your own money if you find these private lenders and end up cash flowing and cash flowing the way we just talked about, and being able to put this kind of money in your pocket that you don't have no pay, you don't have to pay no taxes on to go do whatever you want with it. Now, I recommend, reinvesting it into real estate, but some people do other things, pay for weddings, buy cars, buy somebody their dream car. I mean, you could do whatever you want, and that's the power of real estate and why it's so important for us to really take this business serious. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just so crucial. All right. So, with all that being said, we do got a spot left for the 1-year coaching program. I don't even think I got to tell y'all the link. I done said it so many times. We actually started it last night. So if anybody tonight takes that one spot, what'll happen is you'll get the replay of our first training module. It was actually great, by the way. It was like 2.5 hours. Valerie kicked it off. She totally killed it. I mean, crushed it. It was amazing. We did a Q&A, so you'll get the replay of all of that, the Q&A and the training that we did last night. You also get your one-on-one consultation, which we're still doing. We still got people who haven't done theirs yet that are scheduled for this week and some of next week. If you are in the 1-year coaching program, and thank you, Aaron Stewart said, well worth it. He just signed up. He's in the coaching program. If you are going to join the program and you do want to start getting some rental properties, I mean, I can go into a lot more detail with this, buying and holding. Like I said, this is what I do. It's really not much about it that I don't know how to get out here and acquire these assets. And pretty much get the monthly residuals from it, because that's what it's all about. I tell people all the time, man. Like, the beauty in this that I love so much is that if I didn't want to work anymore, I wouldn't have to, because my rental properties pay all my bills, and it's such a great feeling. I can't even explain it to you sometimes. Like I just can't explain it. So, remember on that Jay-Z song, and of course I'm nowhere near Jay-Z, but what he said I liked, he was like, remember that song? He was like, I wish I can give y'all this feeling, I'm planking on $1 million or something like that. I ain't no Jay-Z nowhere near, but I'm just saying, I felt where he was coming from when he like, yo, I wish I can give y'all this feeling. Like, I really do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for those of you out there that's listening that don't have any rental properties and don't understand this feeling, like, every single month, I'm telling you, it's hitting my bank. Oh, man, I ain't going to go on and on. But anyway, yeah. So we got one more spot left for the 1-year coaching program with Valerie and if you want to take that spot, you can go to www.realestatemoneyclub.com/coaching. Again, it's www.realestatemoneyclub.com/coaching. Antonio said he's planking on 1,000. Y'all funny tonight. All right, so cool. I mean, what y'all think about the presentation? I got a little bit more for y'all. Don't go nowhere. But what y'all think about it? Everybody good? Y'all getting something out of this? I mean, we're gonna get to it, right? 100, great. All right, that's what's up. I'm glad everybody is taking it in, and I'm sorry I jump around sometimes. I be kind of like all over the place, but I always try to make sure that everybody get it. You know what I'm saying? Just really get it. I would say, starting out, the first thing this is a homework assignment for everybody, even though this is our last class, and I'm not going to be able to really follow up with you on the homework assignment unless you're like in the one-on-one coaching, is that I really want everybody, if nothing else, just take this recording. You're going to get the recording and the PowerPoint and everything, and just familiarize yourself with why a private money lender would even want to give you the money. Master that concept of why they want to give you the money, and put together one of those pamphlets. And I'm telling you, go to the post office. I forget, Don, what you say it's called again? Something direct door marketing, I believe. I never knew what the name of it was. I know all about it, though. I just never knew the exact name for it. But anyway, yeah, and you want to go ahead and start sending them to these high net worth zip codes. I'm telling you, somebody will call you back. Every door direct mail, that's what it's called. Thanks, Maria. Every door direct mail. They'll call you back. People with money want to make money off their money. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who will call you back, what type of relationship you can get with somebody that got $1 million trust fund and they just got it sitting there, when you could be taking that money and buying up all the real estate with it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about education, man. Like, I'm telling you, it's about a specialized knowledge and educating yourself. That's what this is all about, all right? So with that being said, again, I'm going to say it one more time. With that being said, one more spot left for the one-year coaching program. www.realestatemoneyclub.com/coaching is where you can go get more information and sign up. You won't be hearing me anymore talking about this one-year coaching program because I'm pretty sure somebody's going to take the last spot, and that's all we can do. All right. Now, Q&A segment begins now. Valerie, I don't know if you're on here or not, but we're about to go ahead and switch over now to the Q&A. So everybody who is on the call, I just want you to take this time to go ahead and call in the conference call number. I'll meet you guys, and ladies. I'll meet you guys and ladies over there, and we're going to answer some questions, like we always do. And, and pretty much just go from there. So give me, I would say, less than a minute. I just got to get off this line, and then I'm going to call into the conference call number, and we're going to take some questions. All right, again, I'm going to leave this screen up for the Q&A segment. All right, but go ahead and dial 641-715-3580, access code 582-809. Again, that's 641-715. 641-715-3580. Access code 582-809, and Valerie and I will join you in just a moment. I'll talk to y'all in a second.